And we are live. Welcome, everybody. It is Sunday, March 24th, and this is our very first episode of the Sunday Show with myself, Kimberly, Destiny, the Shamrock Pixie.
Hello.
Pat, our very first episode of the Sunday Show here. Myself, Kimberly, Destiny. Anyways, all right, we're good now. D72 and Tommy, the Bargain Effect.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. We appreciate everybody who is already here. Let's see who is here real quick. Rebecca, one of the best mods. She will be dropping links throughout. Rebecca, those links are in the description. Dab Kitty Sparkle Nicole. What's up, Thrifty Christy? Just so you all know, today is Thrifty Christy's birthday. Happy
birthday.
Anna Mora, thank you for coming. Anissa, my stalker sister, I appreciate you. April. April. I got this from April, y'all, just so you know. I love it, April. It was her mom's, and I'm wearing it with pride. So this is our first show. We have a little bit of little more structure instead of our normal kind of all over the place with our crazies come out or just hangouts and stuff like that. You know, we want to provide you guys with, well, knowledge or maybe motivation or whatever it is. I'm excited that this is our first episode. Once my nerves get about, no. So tonight I just kind of wanted this show to be a little bit more of an intro. I know that you guys are most of the audience is aware of who I am, but I wanted everybody to also know the other people that are hosting this show along with me and where we're going to be in the future. Let's just take care of that real quick. So, as I already said, my name's Kimberly. Tonight's episode is on my channel, Borderline Hoarderish. Next week's episode is going to be on Destiny's channel, the Shamrock Pixie, and the one after that will be on Pat D's 72. Please make sure that you are subscribed to all of these people on this panel. And the last one, the last rotation would be on Tommy's, the Bargain Effects, and then it will start over. It'll be the same time every single Sunday, so 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. And each week will be a little bit of a different topic in regards to either eBay, Amazon, reseller life, basically. We could even we might talk about parenting or just regular life. So make sure that you are subscribed to everybody because I am definitely looking forward to all the good stuff that we are going to. There's even on Tommy's, he's going to have a special guest during his show, which I'm super about. All of the reminders are already up. So you guys should make sure that you're subscribed and hit that set reminder button. Tonight's, I just wanted to, I have a few questions that I wrote down to ask y'all. And first, I'm going to start out with the audience. Where is everybody from? Where are you tuning in from? I would love to hear. So I've told this a couple times, but I was born in California when I was little. We moved out here to Colorado. I've lived in a few other states, Kansas for 5 years, New Mexico for not even a year. And I love Colorado for sure the most. It's one of my favorite places to be and to live. Sourcing wise, it's pretty amazing. And I doubt that I will ever probably travel or live anywhere else. Well, who knows, I guess, what the future holds. So Destiny, I would love to hear where you were born, maybe some places that you have lived and where you reside now.
Well, I was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, at St. Mary's Hospital, if anybody knows where that's at. I I lived in Orlando with my grandfather for a little while, me and my brother and my mom. My grandfather helped build Disney World down there, so that's pretty exciting, and most of my family has worked there. Probably about 90% of my family still lives in Florida, but when I was almost 11, it was like 3 months before I turned 11 years old, we moved to Wisconsin. I grew up from there in Clintonville, where my dad was a fire chief, a fireman, and then became fire chief. My brother's on the fire department, so I grew up with the fire department. So I love anything and everything that has to do with the fire department as much as I love my Irish stuff. And then I lived in a couple other different towns, and now we live right outside of Wisconsin Dells in Wisconsin.
Awesome. And how about you, Pat?
Hey, well, hey, good evening, guys. Thanks for being our first premiere show, and Kimberly for being our first host. Greatly appreciate it. But I'm born and raised in Pennsylvania. I live in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. I grew up in the Lehigh Valley, which is near Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton area, in a little town called Wing Gap, and I still have many friends there. It's about an hour south of where I live at right now.
Awesome. And Tommy, do tell where were you born and where you live now.
Okay, I was born in southeast Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Through the 90s, I kind of moved around a little bit. Lived in Reno. I lived in Las Vegas. Lived in Salt Lake City. Ended up back in Wisconsin. And now this is where I reside with my family, central Wisconsin, with hopes to get out of this cold soon.
Right. And for those of you that do not know, Tommy and Destiny are actually a couple together. So they reside in the same house now. Well, I'm assuming. I mean, I would think that, right?
Yeah, we live in a basement.
Yeah, that's what everybody thinks. We live in a basement.
I know, right? That's pretty funny. That was funny the other day when everybody was trying to figure out where you guys were at when you were on my show on Friday. I see that a few people, let's see. So Cindy Rosen says she's in Baltimore. April is a Bougie Bear Vintage is in Georgia. Thrifty Dad, what's up, David? Is in Ocean City, Maryland. Thrifty Christy, the birthday girl, is in Oklahoma. Mark, hello. That would be the MT Picker. Thank you for coming by. Rebecca is in Minnesota.
Hickory Springs is in Southwest Missouri, but she is also a fellow Floridian.
Oh, yes. Valerie is awesome. Hickory, I love you. Just so you know. I love you. I love you. All right. So our next one that I thought would be good, and again, I'm going to ask the chat, what are some of your hobbies? Like besides reselling, because I know that we all love reselling and we all love to treasure hunt and all that thing. Besides reselling, what are some of your hobbies? For me, I am an artist. I love to paint. I love anything that's like DIY type of crafts. Painting is really my biggest passion. I also love fishing. I cannot wait for the weather to continue to be really nice here in Colorado, because I mean, if it was up to me, I would fish every day. That opportunity it's hard to do when you live in Denver. It's much easier when I lived in Kansas because there was all kinds of ponds real close. Excuse me. So I used to go fishing a lot. And then also I love anything and everything about cars. So my family was into drag racing growing up. And there's a place called Bandimere Speedway here, and also another racetrack which is a circle track, called Colorado National Speedway. So during the summers, usually Saturday night, about once a month, I'm there at the racetrack watching the races. So Destiny, besides reselling, tell us what kind of hobbies you are into.
Reading. I actually am working on a book that I'm writing. It's a paranormal romance book. My muse has been asleep for a little bit, but I'm trying to get her awake and moving again so that I can get my book finished. I like a little bit of gardening, and I love to bake. I want a commercial kitchen.
Oh, that would be cool with like a double oven. With the whole
Girl, Yes.
Right? I hear you. I'm with you.
But I want an outside cooking area as well.
Yeah, for grilling, right? I heard that you guys like to grill. What about you, Pat? Besides reselling, what are you into, sir?
Oh, I like to do a lot of stuff. I like to go to Knoebels. That's an amusement park here in Ellisburg, Pennsylvania. Every couple of years, we usually go down to Disney World. I like to collect baseball cards. I like pro wrestling. I like to trade. I watch the stock market during the day. We usually take I like to take day trips. We like to go to Philly, New York. I mean, I'll drive 3 hours sometimes just to go for a ride to get a cheesesteak from Pat's or Gino's down in Philadelphia. So, but that's pretty much it, what I like to do.
Cool. Yeah, cheesesteaks, man. I haven't had a good cheesesteak in a long time. That sounds good. Now I'm slightly drooling here.
Right?
Might have to get me a cheesesteak after here. But you know what? They don't have really that great of cheese steaks. They do have good cheesecake though, but not cheesesteaks. Here. And what about you, Tommy? Besides reselling, what do you like to do?
I, much like you, I'm also into fishing. I love to be on the lake whenever I can. We actually went out for our first fishing the other day. Still a little early in the season, but it was just nice getting the line wet, you know. And I'm a foodie as well. Cooking, eating, traveling for food. I love it. I mean, I want to do the Guy Fieri thing, diners and drives without the show. I just want to travel and eat.
Yes, he does.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see what the chat. So I see Bougie Bear Vintage. She says she likes to garden. That's another thing I like to do that I forgot to mention is gardening. It is definitely not the season to start that yet for here because the ground is still frozen. But Mark, the MT picker, says he likes to play the guitar, cook, and woodworking. Cool, Mark. Leticia says crafts. Crafts are fun. Yes, I agree to that. Rebecca says fishing and working on cars when the weather is nice. Don't forget, Rebecca, you like to do your little lake drives, which is pretty awesome. I can't wait for you to do those when it starts to be green and it's not so snowy. Leticia also says baking, cooking, and cleaning with the music on. Girl, I do love to listen to music while I'm cleaning, but I don't like to clean. If you like to clean, you have to tell me your secrets because I don't like to clean. That's when I have to use my whole 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 move. Behind.
Yep.
Living Classy, welcome. Thank you. Let's see if anybody else. All right. I appreciate everybody who's in the chat answering questions. And if you're watching the replay, please feel free to comment. I love to get to know everybody. You know, besides just the normal kind of reseller circle, I do also, like to learn about the people who are outside of that circle. And we obviously all have a life besides just the reselling. So I think it's neat to see what people are into. So the next one that I thought we would sort of go over is, well, how we make a living or how we make extra cash. I know that, well, see, for me, I have been in the reselling business for, well, I mean, my mom started doing eBay in the 90s, in the late 90s, and I dabbled with her, but I never did my own store until in more recent years. But she did also have a consignment store / like eBay store for a many, well, like, I don't know how many years. I want to say maybe 5 years or something like that. I'll have to ask her because I can't remember exactly how long she had it. Maybe it was a little longer than that. And I loved it. I've always loved being a treasure hunter, a bargain hunter. There's something that's a thrill behind it. I was a restaurant manager for quite some time, 10 years about in total, in general management. And although it really was a good, I mean, it was a good income. It was nice, especially if I hit my bonuses. I miss a lot of, my kids sort of growing up, more so my daughter than my son. And the stress was putting some extra pressure on my heart. And for those of you that don't know, I live life with a pacemaker. And not necessarily by choice. I was sort of forced to not have a normal 9-to-5 job anymore because it was too much for me. In fact, it was so much for me that I was ending up in the hospital from seizures and just not a lot of good things. I've only gone into sort of just a small story behind my medical issues, but not only have I had 5 heart surgeries, but I have fibromyalgia along with Berger's disease, which I think that's probably the first time I may have mentioned that in any live so far. And that is a disease that is like gangrene of the limbs, and it eventually takes over, takes over. It started in my hands and it's in my feet. So I really, I'm a mom and I want to be around for as long as humanly possible. So I had to figure out ways to still make an income without having all the pressure of being, a manager. There's a lot for anybody who's been a manager. It's a lot. It's a lot of stress for sure. So I started out doing more DIY stuff. Like, in fact, when I lived in Kansas, when I first really started to cover a lot of bills, I was doing a sort of trash to treasure thing. And I would go into, with permission, people's properties there's a lot of abandoned houses in Kansas, out in these farmlands and stuff like that. And I would take an item and fix it up. I would normally, pay, I'd buy it off of them, or even I made money a few times from helping people figure out what they should price an item for, or just identifying whether an item was vintage, antique, real, or fake. Like, there is a lot of really, really good fakes out there, especially even in furniture. So I did that for a little bit. I also did a type of craft thing where I was making bows and jewelry, not like fancy type of silversmith type of jewelry, but my mom during this whole entire time was kind of in my ear telling me that I need to do eBay. And then when she got into Amazon about 6 or 7 years ago, she was in my ear about that too. And I just started the Amazon thing this year, but 2 or 3 years ago, I started listing for somebody who had an eBay store. And through that, I kind of learned a lot about it on their dollar, not necessarily mine. And then I made the choice to jump full in. And now I have, I sell on a few selling platforms along with selling local. So now you all know my entire life. As to why I do what I do. I love it. I love being a reseller. I love, and it's not, there are those who I think try to make it, I don't know the right words, but kind of it's not as easy as people may think it is. You definitely have to kind of hustle hard. You need to do the research, do the time. It's not like I can just walk into every thrift store and be guaranteed to find something. There's hit and misses. So you should for sure do research. There are so many amazing people already who have put out awesome videos on, reseller type of things. And that is exactly what I did, is I just binge watched so many people and learned myself to figure out how to do it. You, Destiny, tell me a little bit about you, darling, and how you got, or what you do for a living, or how you contribute to the bills.
Okay, so growing up, my mom loved yard sales. She didn't resell the stuff, she just bought the stuff. So I'm familiar with yard sales. My grandfather actually I was thinking about this the other day when we were actually talking, Kim, and I was telling you some stories about my grandfather and how they used to travel and the ghost town stuff. So I was thinking about it. My grandfather was a reseller, and I had no idea. I just knew that he would always come up and he'd have like these brass statues. Like that was his thing. He knew anything and everything about brass. And but yeah, I just realized that he was a reseller, and that's how they traveled. And I actually didn't get into any type of reselling until about 2 years ago when I started helping Tommy. Um, and he started teaching me. And I was just kind of like a drafter. Like I wrote everything down, I measured everything, I did the drafts for eBay, and now I have my own eBay account. And so I just started that this February. I had it written down February 13th, 14th, something like that. No, 15th. It was right there on top. I wrote a note. And so I like it. I like the fact that it's harder than anything I've ever done before in my life. And I get to control everything from start to finish. And it's amazing how much control and how much excitement there is when you sell something and you know you did it all by yourself. And so that's what my show is going to be about next week is about starting eBay. So
nice. Yeah, I think that's going to be a really awesome topic. And again, if you guys are not subscribed to Destiny, please make sure to subscribe. Wow, that is a mouthful. To the Shamrock Pixie. Her link is in the description. And I know that my amazing moderator and BFF, Rebecca, will drop her link in that chat. Hello to the other people that has just popped in, by the way. I see you. Give me 1 second. All right, Pat, give us the lowdown on what you do, sir.
I do a lot. We don't have enough time to everything I do, but hey, I want to thank Rebecca in the room. She's been dropping links to all our pages. You know, she's a great friend on the side outside of the show here, and greatly appreciate her showing her support. So, and I see we got 23 likes, so that's great. But actually today, one of the things I do is Instacart. It's a grocery delivery service. So I actually just got home about 25 minutes before the show, and on the side, I do that for about 15, 20 hours a week. And what I'm trying to do is use that money to fund doing, because I sell items on eBay and Amazon. And, you know, and part of selling stuff online is cash flow, because you need to have, you know, if you need to live off the income that you're doing on eBay and Amazon, sometimes it can make it difficult because you're pulling money out of that to, so it makes it hard to kind of scale up on what you want to do. Another thing I do right now is I've actually been a landlord for 20 years, but I've begun helping somebody else out write leases and show properties. A gentleman that owns about 29 properties, I'm helping him out. And but I'm working on a bunch of things. I'm even working on a website in the near future that we will sell Christmas-related merchandise. I, you know, just turned 47, and for me, this was a reset, because for the past close to 18 years, I was owning and operating restaurants. But I found out I had cancer and had to deal with those issues, and now I'm cancer-free. But again, we had to restart all over, and I like the appeal of doing Amazon and eBay because of the freedom that allows me to have off on the weekends. Not all the weekends, I can pick and choose to do some of the things. Like just recently, if anyone who follows my channel, we did the robotics competition with my son, where before working 7 days in the restaurant business, you know, I couldn't do that. So everything that I'm doing right now allows me to, even though I'm doing 4 different things 7 days a week, I can still kind of lay out my own schedule. So again, when I say I'm doing a lot of things, I'm doing a lot of things.
Yes, you are a very busy man, but that's good. That's good. I think it's really smart to have multiple, streams of income, because you just honestly, you never know when one of those streams is going to go away. Or even like, if you have sort of hiccups through any of the selling platforms, like I think it's really awesome to have multiple platforms, because like if eBay, for example, has a glitch or there's something wrong with your account or whatever it is, you at least still know that you have income from another area that's coming in.
Right. And to expand on that a little bit more, I actually turned down a job that was full-time, but didn't allow me the opportunity to control a little bit of my own personal family life. And I just didn't want to get wrapped up into that again, because I had done that on my own. And, as you get older, your kids are getting older, and you're looking back and saying, hey, we sacrificed a lot of time. That right now, not counting on one thing allows me to actually, that if one thing's not doing that great, it doesn't matter, that I can, pick up. Like eBay, to be honest, the last week's been a little slow. Well, I made a little bit more money doing Instacart. But my hope is to really expand in the next year or two with eBay and Amazon, and use some of the money that I'm making from the other sources to drive that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't even know what Instacart was until you explained it to me, and I watched you actually do it that one day. I didn't know. Do they have Instacart everywhere? I guess I don't know.
And yeah, it's a big company. I think they're doing roughly around $2 billion in grocery deliveries. And I mean, people are looking more for service type industries now to have things delivered, because, with two people, before, you go back years ago when it was maybe the husband working and the wife, but now everybody's working and everybody's busy, and they're willing to pay a little extra for that convenience of having it delivered, to their house and stuff. I'll be honest, I've been doing it since like February 20th. I've been doing it for 5 or 6 weeks, and it's averaging about $15, $16 an hour. But don't forget, out of that, you got to, because you're a 1099 independent contractor, you have to pay you have to put money to the side to pay your taxes. So not when you're getting hit with a big bill at the end of the year, and you got to keep in mind you have the expense of your gas. But if you keep track of your miles, you can deduct that and effectively, not pay taxes on the whole $15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a whole nother. I was just thinking about, man, we might have to. That should be a topic on one of our shows, is maybe some help in that area on taxes. And even though I know none of us are, there's a little bit of a fine line in what you can say, but I'm sure one of us has a connection on somebody who might know what they're talking about a whole lot better. Plus, there's all kinds of, apps out there and programs that help you with that. Because do not forget about that, people. Do not wait the entire year to figure out and be organized about, your reselling business, because you're going to make yourself go crazy at the end of the year and be a hot mess about it, and probably miss out on things that you can write off on your taxes. So
right.
Be organized by it, now rather than later, even if you're not selling a whole lot. Who knows, you might have busier weeks and all that. Just set, like for me, I like to, I didn't do it today, but I mean, there's still time in the day. Sunday was my slowest type of day in the evening, and not so much, the reselling, because Sunday is a busy day for sales wise, but it's a little calmer in my own life to be able to sit down and go through all my receipts and all that. And even throughout the week, when I go and I source or whatever it is, I'll highlight or write a little note or whatever it is on top of those and stick it where it at least needs to go, because I'll just, dumping out my purse and pulling out all those is not, it was okay for a minute until I started selling stuff every day, and then it was a problem. So Tommy,
yeah.
Tell us all your secrets. No. Tell us about you, sir, and how you contribute to the household.
I'm just a just a full-time hustler. That's all there is to it. I had my first little rummage stand when I was like 10 or 11 years old. I love the idea of getting stuff, buy low, sell high. You know, that's the whole practice. So got full-time eBay store, sell on Macari. We're dabbling in Poshmark, not a big fan. I also sell local. I used to sell a lot more local, then I found out that I could widen the customer base so much more going online. And also have summertime flea market booth right here at the little local flea market in town. And I really don't know what else to say about it. I mean, just always out for the treasure hunt, you know, get the bread and butter items and looking for the holy grail, and then I won't have to do it no more. No.
Right. And I should have asked I'll just ask you this, and I'll ask Tommy and Destiny and Pat, what selling platforms do you sell on?
Currently, right now, I sell on eBay, and I've been on there for 21 years, since 1998, and I started selling on Amazon this year, January 2019. So maybe one of the questions too you can ask the room is, how many people here, you know, I see a common theme that a lot of people are coming to our type channels because they're looking for ways to make money. There's a common theme I see that people's, you know, when we talk about our health, they're talking about they're in a situation where they can't get no more hours at their job, or they're limited on how much they can do as far as their health, and they're looking for ways to make extra money. So maybe you can ask the question of how many people are full-time or part-time in the room.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, even for the chat, who does this full-time and are reselling full-time, and who maybe does it as a hobby or even just to pay a couple bills. Because I think that even just being able to sort of contribute, you know, is pretty awesome. You know, don't be ashamed if you only make $50 a month or $100 a month. You should be proud of that, because you're contributing to maybe you're trying to save up for a vacation, you know, or you're trying to cover just the water bill or whatever it is. Be proud of that, because I think it's awesome that to anybody who takes that kind of entrepreneur mindset and does things on their own. Destiny, what selling platforms do you sell on, ma'am?
Okay, so eBay. I'm a very much newborn when it comes to eBay, but I'm doing it. I usually am the one that works on Poshmark, although it takes a lot of time, so we might be steering clear from that for a little bit. Macari. Is flea market a platform?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sell local.
Yeah,
we do.
Business. I think it's a legitimate platform that people make a lot of money.
Yeah, so we do the flea market and a couple other ones that I can't remember off the top of my head. Tommy is awesome when it comes to local sales. Do I have time for a quick story on how good he is?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so we got this boat. I don't remember how much we paid for it, but I know it was no more than $100. Okay. And he flipped it a couple times to get bigger boats. Well, my vehicle died and I needed a vehicle. So what did he do? He traded it was a nice boat. It was, which one was that? A Bayliner?
A Century, 20 foot.
Yeah, a Century 20-foot boat. Okay.
Inboard.
Thank you. I know it's a boat. I know it was a big boat. But he traded that boat for a car for me. He asked me what color I wanted, what I was looking for in a car, and I told him, and I can't swear, within 2 days he had the car that I was just describing to him in our driveway. He flipped the boat for that car, and the car was worth way, way more than the boat was. That's how good he is. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah. I'm getting to know Tommy, and I'm definitely noticing that he is, well, I mean, he's heard me say it over and over, how smart he is. Tommy, tell us all your secrets. No, but tell us and the audience, the people in the chat, and even those watching the replay, what selling platforms you sell on, sir, or local or whatever.
Yeah, like I say, I sell on eBay. I sell on Macari. We sell at the flea market. I do some Facebook Marketplace. There's money everywhere. I mean, I sell anywhere. I'll sell to a guy at a gas station that I just happen to hear he's looking for this or that, and if I have it or I have a lead on getting one, and I can make a few bucks in just a transition, I'll do it. So platforms, I'm always trying to be diversified. Like you said earlier, you don't want to count on just one platform because anything can happen. Your eBay account could get suspended for something not even your fault. I know Amazon's even harder to stay in line with and not jeopardize your account. So you want to be diversified. You want to have incomes. You want to be able to make it if you do lose a platform. So I sell anywhere and everywhere, and I want to keep going. I want to branch out into OfferUp. I do want to get into Amazon this year. I'm in the process of working out. I want to try to save time on sourcing. I want the product to come to me, so I'm working on that.
Pallets.
Yeah, pallets and boxes.
Cool. Oh shoot, I went back. Hey Rebecca, I think you're just copying and pasting what you put above because none of the links are working.
Oh.
I did that the other day, so it's pretty easy to be done, but it's just copying. I think she's copying and pasting what she wrote into the chat because all it's doing is it's not putting out the full link.
And everybody can keep in mind when everybody's talking, if they have a channel, even without the group, they can always right-click the three dots to the right, and in the description is all of our channels that you can click on. Mm-hmm. So the link doesn't work. We're providing it in two different ways to you. But I appreciate everyone asking, wanting to see our channels and reach out to even, and this is how we communicate because we meet other people. This is how, to be honest, Destiny, Tommy, and Kim, we all met here on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, Kimberly's from Colorado, Tommy and Destiny, Wisconsin, right?
Yep.
And I'm from Pennsylvania. We would have never found each other. And this is one of the reasons I'm doing this with YouTube. YouTube is not a business. It's just a platform for us to expand our knowledge and do other things to get on board here and showcase what we know and share our experience. And, I found some guys, I never thought I would sell on Amazon until a couple months ago. And then when I saw the dollar signs and the money that I can make and the opportunity, I said, I'm a fool. I already sell on eBay. I already have access to the product. So why am I not selling on Amazon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mom was like that. She's like, if you're already selling on eBay, you should just do Amazon. Because I used to be really big into couponing, and even at one time was an extreme couponer to the extent that I could not consume the stuff fast enough. So I would make bags and boxes and drop it on people's porches that I knew were a little, not as fortunate. They've sort of changed the rules in couponing because when I was really big into it, you could overlap more things. I still like to coupon, but it's definitely time consuming. Like I was doing it 30 to 40 hours a week, which to some were like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But when you're saving 1,000, to 1,500, like on things and able to contribute to others, not have to ever pay for hygiene, not really pay for much in food, all these things. It was like almost having a part-time job, and contributing to the household that way because my husband at the time, he, those were things that he didn't have to buy from what he was making at his job. So I use that still to my advantage, my knowledge a little bit about that. I don't give away all of those secrets in that sense because it's a lot of like perishable type of items, but there is some money in hygiene and medical type of stuff. Of course, you have to look, and there's a whole, for example, on eBay, obviously, there's a Vero list that you should pay attention to. And then on Amazon, you could be gated in certain areas, but.
Excuse me, Kimberly. I like to add one, I'm monitoring the chat. And that's one thing I'm glad some people are pointing that out. If you are monitoring us right now and you don't want to leave, that's correct. Don't click on the link because you're going to leave the live stream and go to someone else's channel. If you click on the 3 dots, it takes you to another page, which then you're still on the live stream, because now we have 26 people watching and we're keeping them because they're not leaving the live stream. So I appreciate somebody pointing that out. One thing with the replay is, and you're looking to find us, and again, it's in the description, or everybody in the room, if they want to put in just a hello and they right click those 3 dots, you will see it will open up another page, but still be on the live stream. So thanks for pointing that out. There was 2 or 3 people that pointed that out in the chat.
Yes, I appreciate that for sure. I do. I mean, everybody knows that I try really hard to be good about the chat. Most of the time I'm just like staring at it like a hawk, but I appreciate you saying something about that. And now that we're speaking of the chat, there's so many amazing people in here. Flipping Particles, Dee, I know I said hi to you in the chat, but I do want to verbalize it. Dee is an amazing person, another fellow reseller. I appreciate you being here, Dee, for sure. And then I know RBA Flips, I saw him. What's up, dude? Thank you for coming by. That's it's always a pleasure to see you pop into any of us, really, any of our channels. You are definitely a good source of knowledge in the reseller community. Flippin' sister, that would be Chrissy. Hello, that's Dee's sister. Thank you. We all appreciate everybody who has come into the chat and has been talking and answering the questions. Now that we went over that, we actually do have a little bit of time for a question and answer. If anybody would like to ask us something, feel free to drop a question into the chat, and one of us will hopefully do it. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to drop a question in a comment, and I'm usually pretty good about responding to questions. Tanya says you have to be careful using coupons to buy source. Yeah, well, there's a lot of, you are correct. There's a lot of rules now to couponing. And so I suggest to always, no matter what you do, whether it's Amazon, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, you need to know the rules on what's going on, because all it takes is so many times, a couple times, and you're not going to have that access to be able to do things like that. I couponed for a long time, but I also read the fine white writing, on every coupon, and even on the bottom of ads. If I was going to coupon at Walmart or wherever, King Supers or Walgreens or, CVS. So for sure, pay attention to the rules. Oh, Mary Deathy Deal says, I look beautiful. Thank you. You guys are so nice. This whole entire experience on YouTube, and I'm curious if it's the same for you, Destiny, Tommy, and Pat, has really been wonderful. And I've learned even a lot about myself in just this kind of short period of time in going live, because it's different going live than it is, making a pre-recorded video. And especially talking about, our kind of the way that we all connected was through the reseller community. So it was scary to try to go live, and if I don't know an answer to something, I'll straight admit that I don't know an answer to something. But you're sort of put on the spot when you go live. Let's see if Ernaberta has some questions.
Leticia is asking if you could show some items we're selling and what platform. Well, maybe that'll be a show we could do down the road where we can kind of prepare ourselves and maybe pick out 2 or 3 things that we've sold and we can share.
Gonna have a show and tell.
There you go. That's it, Tommy. That's the title.
I love that idea. And we actually, now that reminds me, if you guys have any topics or any ideas or anybody watching the replay on things that you guys would like to hear us talk about, like feel free to drop your ideas, because we really want to provide information and talk about subjects that you guys want to hear. You know, we are here to help you and to teach you, you know, what we can, or just even about life, you know, and it doesn't have to just be reselling. You know, there's other things that I don't mind chatting about. I am very frugal. There's another, a future show or a future topic I'd like to talk about on ways to save money. You know, here we are always spending money in the reseller business, and I would love to be able to help people save some money. So hopefully that's a topic that we can discuss. If you guys have any.
Todd is in chat.
Todd,
today is his birthday as well.
Hey, happy
birthday, Todd.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. I sang to him happy birthday in a message this morning. I did, Todd. He said he was doing, racing some NASCAR race or something, which I thought was really awesome, because y'all know me, I like me NASCAR. I like my nutter left turn.
Kimberly, I see Valerie Hickory Springs has a question. Maybe you could start with.
All right, so let me see what it says. 4 on the panel. What secret tricks do you use to increase your eBay sales, promoted listing sales, coupons, free shipping, free returns? Woo! That was a big question. No, a lot of things in it. All right, so for me, I do promoted listings. I keep them, I only do them like 2 to 4 days, depending on the time period. Maybe if there's a holiday coming around, I'll have it extended, but I always end them just after, 2 to 4 days. I do not do high promoted listings. I only keep mine between like 1% and 2%. I also do run sales. I don't always consistently have a sale going, and I'm not pro free shipping, just my opinion. I know that others are, and I'm curious to see what you guys feel on that. And even in the chat, I always want to know and like to hear whether people are pro free shipping, free returns. I am not on either one of those. I've said, my mom has been in the eBay business for a really long time and is very, very successful at it. Has bought multiple properties that she manages from her reselling business between eBay and Amazon. So I don't know if it's just I have her in my head, but for me, I choose to not do those. How about you, Pat? I'll start with you on that.
Okay. Well, look, free shipping is never free. It's not. It's built into the price. If you follow other people, they'll tell you exactly that. If they were going to sell the item for $20 and let's say $5 shipping, they're just selling it now for $25 plus free shipping. It's just a marketing ploy. I mean, even with Amazon saying they offer free shipping, it's not free. That was one of the things I didn't mention before, but 4 or 5 years ago, one summer, I worked at Amazon for a summer because I wanted to make extra money to go to Disney World, and I was leaving my restaurant, and then I was working at Amazon warehouse to 3 o'clock in the morning. I was putting in 95 hours, and I saw people were paying $22 for a case of water. Now, water doesn't cost $22, so shipping, let's be honest, shipping is not free. I have done some items with free shipping to test things out, but again, I built that into the price of the item, and usually it's for first class things under 4 or 5 ounces. Mm-hmm. Typically, I try to offer a fair price and then try to do the shipping that exactly what it weighs, and so they understand. going back to Hickory Springs, Valerie's question, I started doing some promoted listings on eBay, but what I'm doing is I'm picking and choosing a couple of things to see how they work. I have done 2-week specials where if stuff is sitting, let's say, in my inventory for 90 days, I'll lower those items 15%. A lot of my stuff, I take best offers, and I typically will take a 15% discount on best offer. And one of the big things is, I've been on now the platform for 21 years, and my feedback is just providing customer service. Just recently, I had a customer who bought a pair of jeans, and she paid $13 for shipping. The shipping only cost $8. I emailed her and let her know that we were refunding $5 back. And that's how you get great positive feedback, and people come back. And she said right out to me, you're a good seller. That's how all sellers are be. Returns, I don't worry about them. If I out of the last 300 transactions, I've only had 3 returns, and typically it's not something that I'm out of the product. Yeah, I'm out of the shipping cost, but I could turn around and package that and resell it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes, to be honest, the return may be a mistake in my listing, so I don't worry about that. I try to think, even though we're doing this out of our houses, I still try to think like a store, what I would do for a customer as a manager, and I try to look at the big picture. So that's the things that I do to boost sales and try to keep. I still have things I want to do, and I want to spread, have diverse, more inventory and stuff. But those are the things that I do to keep customers coming back. And currently, right now, we between 3 stores, we have close to 1,000 listings.
That's awesome. That reminds me of Thrifty Dad, David. He was talking last night about that very same thing, about the free listing or free shipping. And the point that he brought up was, he said, so if you have an item that's $39 and you have it listed as free shipping, and then you have it promoted, when you sell it and it's promoted, not only are you going to have to pay for the shipping, but you're also going to, when you sell that item, eBay's going to take a bigger cut of the $39. So why don't you instead do the item for $30, charge them the shipping, do the promoted listing, and when you do sell it, you're going to be giving a smaller amount to eBay. I don't know if that made sense, but I thought that was a really, really good way of looking at it, that he explained last night. And I was like, yeah, aha, kind of moment. I don't do free shipping anyways, but I thought that was a good point. How about you, Tommy? What do you do, sir?
I do promoted listings. I only do 1%. I do it across the board. It's just everything just at a 1% promoted listing. I do offer the free returns. I did 1 year with paid returns, 1 year with free returns. Now it's been about a full year. My return rate has only went up 0.5% versus paid returns and free returns. So I feel with the boost it gives you in eBay, it's well worth it. The fact is, if somebody wants to return something and they don't want to pay the return shipping, they know how to do it. They're going to get a free return regardless. So you might as well take the boost and offer it. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm. Free shipping, I do as well. As Pat said, there's no such thing as free shipping. It's all figured into the price. Basically, if it fits in a padded flat or less, I market free shipping because I know what the shipping is going to be. When I get into heavier items, 3-4 pounds that don't fit into a padded flat rate, then I use the calculated.
Right.
And as far as a boost, that's actually what will be coming up on my show. The thing that has boosted our store the most over the last month, and over a couple of years of playing with different things, is the program I use, Datamine. And we're actually going to have a whole show dedicated to that in three shows from now.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
And we're actually going to have the special guest. We're going to have Brooks Bolin, the founder of the software, on the show with us, and he'll be able to give the details of all the ins and outs.
That's awesome. Now, Destiny, I know that you live in the same household as Tommy. But with you having your little baby starter store, things might be a little different. So what do you do for what are you starting your store at? Are you doing free shipping? Are you doing promoted? Maybe your promotion is higher, you're limited to items, right?
Very much so. But I actually started from the way, way bottom. I do not have a store yet. So promoted listings are in there. I do on some items. I'm just actually learning the promoted listings thing. So as of right now, it's 1% on a few items since I started listing. I cannot do sales. It is not in the free subscription of eBay or free account on eBay. Coupons I do not have access to as well. I wanted to start from the very, very bottom and work up so that I could learn everything and anything from the very, very minimum to, because I already knew the things with Tommy's store where but I didn't know everything. And so I do free shipping, and I do now do free returns because it protects you. You can't get negative feedback if you have free returns. So if somebody wants to be nasty with you, and leave a nasty comment, you can have that removed because you are protected. Like Tommy said, if they're going to return it, they will find a way to return it one way or another. They will have that free shipping back. So might as well just do it, and I know everybody has different opinions on it, but here it works for us and we are protected against negativity. So
yeah, I forgot the fact that you didn't have access to all that stuff yet, which makes me really excited about next week's show on your channel, because not only are we going to hear a little bit more in detail about what it's like to start fresh, with being limited on everything, but you're going to also get tips from, Tommy, Pat, and I on what maybe we wish that we would have done from the beginning, that we learned, over time. I was going to read the chat and see what people's opinions on that. DG Picker says, hate free shipping. Flippin' Particles D says, very little free shipping, free returns. Let's see. Oh, Flippin' Hustler's going to be busting out on his own birthday, listening and listing. Leave it to Todd, the king of confetti, to work on his own birthday. I probably would too. And in fact, I think I did on my own birthday.
I did.
Yeah, I can't even help it. Sometimes I just always want to. Let's see where else. What else, everybody? You still get charged freight. Leticia says, I'm not doing free shipping because I do not have the money to ship. D also says, Flipping Particles, free returns also protects you from the unfair negative feedback. So I have mine set as the free returns, but the buyer pays shipping. And I don't know if that's technically free shipping, but I know that everybody does do things different, so I'm always curious. Justin Pac-Man, welcome. He says, thumbs up, y'all. Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Joanna says, I have switched to free returns, and I swear none of my stuff with free returns really sold, but the other listing with free shipping, paid returns, or paid shipping and paid returns sold the most. Woo, that was a mouthful. That is awesome that you guys are giving us your opinion. I know, and I see that we are coming up on 6 o'clock. I want to make sure that I let you know the upcoming schedule. And again, this will rotate every single week. It will be on Sunday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Next week, as you now know, will be on Destiny's channel, The Shamrock Pixie. We will be discussing what it's like to start a new eBay store. And then the week after that, April 7th will be on Pat D's 72 channel. We will be discussing goals and dreams for 2019. I'm really excited about that. I always love to hear people's goals and dreams, especially with us being by that point into the 4th month of the year, because, you know, everybody comes up with their kind of New Year's resolutions, and they sort of start to fall off of that bandwagon within a couple months. So I like to see, you know, what people are still wanting to accomplish, or maybe they have already accomplished so far. And then on April 14th, we'll be on Tommy's channel, The Bargain Effect, with the special guest, all about data mining. And I am excited for that because I've been wanting to start that. Don't you have, isn't that where you have a referral link, Tommy, right? Isn't that
I do. Excuse me, I do. Actually, I can drop that.
Yeah.
And if you use the referral link, you get a 30-day free trial. They don't ask you any payment information or nothing. It's 100% free. Just at the end of the 30 days when it's up, unless you buy into the subscription, it just runs out and you're done. So there's like no obligation. You don't have to worry about canceling before you get charged or anything like that. So let me just grab my link here.
Yeah, that would be awesome if you could do that.
And if anybody's got any questions about it, they're more than welcome to reach out to me through my channel comments or however, and I will answer what I can. I don't know it all. That's why I'm having Brooks himself on here.
Right? What a better way to get some answers from than the person. I also wanted to, I know that there are a few of us that are going to be in other places on other people's channels too this week, or maybe doing our own thing. I don't know, Pat, if you want to mention maybe where you're going to be at this week, so that people can also check you out. And
yeah, well, typically, I mean, I do 3 videos myself during the week, and then Tuesday and Thursday mornings, the last couple of weeks, I've been on Scott, the Bearded Picker Show. He has about 58,000 subs. It's, you know, it's a laid back show. We talk about, you know, different things going on in the business, and you know, but I pop into different rooms from time to time to monitor. But I mean, I'm doing YouTube really 5 or 6 days a week, and now that we've started the Sunday show, is to do a steady show every Sunday night.
Mm-hmm. I'm totally excited about it. I will still always be doing my Monday motivation at noon Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Central, right here from this very same spot in my living room, which is your typical Move Yo as Mondays, where I attempt to motivate you all into getting up off your behind and getting some shizzles done. And then Wednesday, actually, I'm going to make a little bit of an appearance on one of my, like, a really close friend. I talk about her all the time, and that would be 10 of Hearts. Beth is her name, and we are going to be planning April together, which is really exciting. So if you would like to be a little more organized or want to learn about bullet journaling, make sure to check out that on Wednesday. That again is Beth, 10 of Hearts. That is at it's 8 p.m. my time, so it'd be 9 Central. And then I'm not sure if we're doing a working live this week, so I don't know quite on that where that's going to be yet. But usually I'm somewhere around Wednesday or Thursday working live with a few friends. And then, of course, next week, the Sunday show will not be here. It'll be on Destinie's channel. I figured we could maybe give a few shout outs to the people that are still here in the chat before we say our goodbyes and head out. As much as we would love to hang out with you all night, I know that it is Sunday night, and there are other people that I also like to watch on Sundays. So it is awesome that everybody, especially the ones who came by and showed some support, make sure to hit that like button. Joanna is still here. Thank you, Joanna. Maggie Doodle. I was about to say Pat D's. Thanks, Pat, for staying here, buddy. Mark the MT Picker, Just Pac-Man, Thrifty Dad. Thank you, sir. Thrifty Dad is my YouTuber reseller idol / hero. So make sure to go show him some love. And of course, our amazing moderators, anybody in blue, but the one who's really busting it out tonight would be Rebecca Kruder, one of my BFFs. Please make sure to go show her some love and subscribe to her channel. Thank you, Swamp Picker Glenn, for still being here. Nathan, hello. Red Neckerson's Resales. Leticia, do you guys on the panel have any parting words you would like to say before we wrap this up?
I really appreciate everyone stopping in tonight to check out the first show, and I think it went very well. And you know, we're going to stick to this format of around 60, 70 minutes. And I hope every week that you guys will come back you'll know the subject already and wanting to learn more and see more. We'll have special guests. So I appreciate Kim hosting the first week.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Tommy, any wise words?
Yes.
Wisdom?
Yes, I would just love to thank everybody that did show up and show their support. That's awesome. I see we have more thumbs ups than we have watchers, so that's great.
Yeah, that's great.
I did try to put a link for the data mine referral link in chat. It won't let me for some reason. Maybe
probably if you send it to me, I'll drop it in the description.
Okay, that'd be great. I'll do that to you right after the show. And otherwise, you can head over to my channel too. I have a link in my show for it. But yeah, thanks. It's been fun. I'm looking forward to doing the weekly show. I think we have a lot of information that we can share and provide to people. I got thousands of hours of YouTube knowledge stored up here, and I'd love to share it.
That's awesome. That is why you were on this panel, sir, because you got all that up there. And I always try to tell you, I'm like, give me all your secrets, Jill. All of them. I want all of them. I mean, you know me, if something I'm like I can't figure out something, I'm all blowing up Destiny's phone. I'm like, hey, ask Tommy a question for me. Oh, I need Tommy to help me out, yo. All right, Destiny, wise words of wisdom. Do you have any, ma'am?
Thank you for coming. We greatly appreciate it. I know everybody else has said that, but I would like to say it as well. The support is just phenomenal, and I can't wait till next week so I can show you my journey so far and learning eBay from the very, very bottom. And so with that, that's all I got, I guess.
Awesome. Well, thank you again to everybody for being here. It is much appreciated. You all know that I appreciate every single one on the panel as well as in the chat. Thank you to all the people in blue. Keep an eye on them trolls. And also to anybody who has stuck around. My dog apparently wants to say hi, y'all. I think she just wants to maybe say hi to Pat. But tune in next week on the Shamrock Pixies channel, and we will catch you all next time. Be safe this week, the rest of the weekend. Make sure to get up and get to listen. You know, you can only grow if you can't sell it if you don't list it. I appreciate every single one of you. We will catch you next time. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thanks.